I got some bad news for you. Agile isn't a thing. That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast. Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams. Well, greetings, everybody. Welcome back. It's great to see you. Been a while for me. A little bit of post-COVID throat and ear problems keeping me off mic, and you probably hear it in my voice, but I'm glad to be back. Now, at the same time, I'm sorry to disappoint, but Agile isn't a thing. Now I know what you're thinking. It is too a thing. I practice it all the time. I learned it in school. I've got all kinds of certifications. It's definitely a thing. Well, you may be right, but it's not supposed to be. And treating it like a thing gets us into trouble. In fact, it kills your practice. So today we're going to learn about why. But first, let's take a moment to remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources out there about what you need to do in order to be agile, but we're focused on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a truly unique and powerful force in this industry. Now remember, if this helps you, tell your friends. You can get a ton more tips and thoughts all week long by following us on YouTube. Check out the Badass Agile channel. You can also look for us on Instagram at Badass Agile and on Twitter at Badass_Agile. And don't forget to join us over in the Badass Agile Listener Lounge on Facebook. And finally, you can check out my products, services, back episodes of the podcast where you can subscribe so you never miss an episode, all at badassagile.com. So what do I mean exactly when I say that Agile isn't a thing? Well, we treat it like it's a program that you can install or a product that you can buy and bring home, and it will miraculously solve problems for you. We expect that there's some kind of magic, almost like a spell or a potion, in the arrangement of principles and practices that will somehow make things better. And worse, we sell Agile or allow it to be sold as though that's exactly what it'll do. Now here's why that's a problem. As a result of preaching Agile like it's a thing, we fail to focus our attention on the attitudes and practices that actually bring about victory, that actually get things done, that actually help things improve. Now, I understand why we might be tempted to do that, because those practices still require hard work, risk, courage, growth, the things that have never been easy or comfortable for us humans to do. So great, there's a thing we can buy, there's a thing we can install or unleash on the organization that will instantaneously, or at least somewhere down the road, make things better. But the problem is, because we've bought this little box of Agile or Scrum, we spend all of our time focusing on the detailed conversations that don't drive results, because ultimately, when you treat something like it's a magic potion, you're going to bump into the reality that it doesn't drive results, so you start scratching your head. We start talking to each other, we start building communities, we start building courses and offering services and coaching to make the pain stop. But these conversations are focused around the minutiae, the open quote, close quote theory of Agile and Scrum. Go look for yourself. You'll see tons of practitioners, companies, talking about different methods, techniques, tools that attempt to somehow break free of traditional behavioral patterns, organizational problems, especially those at scale. So there are as many proposed solutions as there are minutes in a day. Every time you turn the page, someone's trying to come up with the next big thing, something that evolves, and for good reason, evolves the conversation to a more refined and clarified practice. But the problem is, they never address the root problem. Why is it that when people get together in large groups, they can't seem to self-organize, prioritize, keep promises, and commit to continuous improvement in a way that actually makes the organization better? And this is the root of the problem. So let me simplify it for you. At its heart, Agile and Scrum for that matter, are a series of principles. The most important part, the biggest takeaway, The biggest thing that we learned from Agile and Scrum is the philosophy, the mindset, the focus on the outcome, the markers of excellence and well done without prescribing a solution. Now, this should make sense because Agile itself favors outcome and value focus over process precision. But for some reason, as practitioners, we have a hard time focusing on that. We have a hard time believing in that. We have a hard time letting go. So instead, we look for templates and rehearsed answers and certain and safe practices. What do I do if one person in the stand-up's wearing a red shirt and it's not red shirt day? How do we handle that situation? What are the 7 different types of meetings? What are the 88 different types of stories, and what are the 140 different ways to split that story? The answer to all of those questions is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because by doing first, by trying, by being prepared to fail, by living for the endeavor and the experience and the failure in which you can learn from it, you figure it out. Maybe you say something to the person with the red shirt, maybe you don't. Things either get better, they get worse, or they stay the same, and you learn. What are the 88 ways to split a story? Well, it depends. If you find yourself trying to simplify scope so you can meet some kind of delivery deadline by delivering only one side of a house or only the bathroom, the chances are you've missed the point of all good sense. And while you may be following Scrum prescriptions or Agile procedures, if such a thing exists, you're making a mistake. You're not making things better. You're delivering something that doesn't make sense. And you're not learning from those mistakes either, I'll bet. When we treat Agile like it's a bunch of prescriptions, like it's a bunch of chin-scratching theory we're supposed to engage in, Agile never truly evolves. Think about it. For a long time, we've been doing Agile and Scrum inside software development practice. Some of us have been talking about, how can you do Agile for sales, for marketing, for HR, but for little else. When are we going to make the world better by bringing this outside the team room, outside the development room, into other areas of life? We could be improving education. We could be improving government. We could be improving health and wellness if we were smart enough to realize that Agile isn't a thing, but it's a way of thinking about how we deliver outcomes. And if we stay in the mode of constantly theorizing, constantly analyzing and proposing new ways of doing the little things that don't matter as a way to avoid taking the risk and the leap and the leadership into the things that do matter, Agile will eventually go extinct. This is the big warning. If we keep misusing and abusing it and it fails to produce results, it will eventually become undesirable and be called a failed experiment. Instead, the spoils go to those who see, those who can envision, those who can question, and those who can learn. You would be better served by spending less time studying all of these different theories about the 48 stances of a Scrum architect, and instead studying business, studying the future of work, the future of the economy, the future of humankind, the problems that plague us every day, and learning to focus on the outcomes rather than the process inside the box. If we keep treating Agile like it's a thing, then eventually it won't be a thing at all. And that would kind of suck for those who put so much effort and heart into trying to make the world a better place by simply changing how we focus. My friends, wonderful to see you. Don't forget to look for me on social media and on YouTube and on my website at badassagile.com. I look forward to next time, and until then, stay badass.